It's helpful when studying science to take a brief tour through the history of how these ideas came to be. Early ideas about the building blocks of matter, these are early 5th century BC, long, long time ago. A couple of guys, Leucippus and Democritus, they were the first to propose the idea that matter was composed of small indestructible particles, that if you took that piece of graphite and cut it and cut it and cut it, you'd eventually get to a piece that could not be cut. Democritus wrote, nothing exists except atoms and empty space. Everything else is opinion. So they proposed that many different kinds of atoms existed. Each were different in shape and size, and they thought that they moved randomly through empty space. Now, obviously, not all of their ideas are correct, but this concept of the atom was right on. And this was, hundreds of years BC. Problem is, a couple of other guys that you've probably heard of, Plato and Aristotle, didn't agree with them. They held that matter has no smallest parts, that you can just divide it infinitely, and that different substances are composed of various proportions of fire, earth, water, and air. And these guys apparently were more popular, more people believed them, and so science had a big setback because Democritus and Leucippus said, hey, we think there's these things called atoms. Plato and Aristotle come along, nah, that's rubbish. So this was back in the time before a scientific approach to experimentation, including experimentation and investigating what the world was. They were more theorizing, just sitting around thinking, philosophizing. So later, the scientific approach became the established way to learn about the physical world. And now, many, many years after Leucippus and Democritus, an English chemist, John Dalton, lived mostly in the 1800s, he offered convincing evidence that supported those early ideas from 5th century BC. So the theory, this is a new section, better stop.